the Eastern Plaguelands stood as the pride of Lordaeron, a shining example of the kingdom's prosperity and grace. Vast fields rippled with golden wheat beneath the gentle touch of the sun, while thriving villages echoed with laughter and the everyday bustle of trade. Towering oaks and elms lined the roads, their branches forming canopies of dappled light. At the heart of this flourishing domain was Stratholme, a majestic city whose marble spires and elegant arches seemed to scrape the very heavens. The bells of its grand cathedral tolled in joyful celebration of harvests, festivals, and the endless possibilities of peace. Yet, beneath this veneer of tranquility, doom quietly gathered. The plague of undeath, seeded by foul sorcery and tainted grain, slithered through once thriving settlements. At first, sickness crept in, claiming lives with a relentless grip. Then came the horrific transformation. The dead rose from their graves, enslaved to the terrible will of the Lich King. Families turned on one another in madness and despair, and the serene farmlands descended into chaos. What had once been a realm of promise became a stage for fear, death, and the unholy horrors that walked in the plague's wake. That shining chapter of Stratholme's history ended in a single harrowing decision. As the plague loomed, the fate of the city rested on a desperate act, the purge of its citizens before they could succumb to undeath. Flames devoured the wooden homes. Screams echoed among the once lively markets. In the aftermath, Stratholme became a necropolis. Its charred walls loomed like silent sentinels of guilt and sorrow, and the ashen streets wanderers tread upon are haunted by the restless spirits of those who perished there. Now, dark magic courses through the abandoned plazas, a constant reminder of the city's grim fall from grace. Today, the Eastern Plaguelands are defined by despair. A sickly orange glow clings to the sky, casting a hellish light over terrain shattered and broken. Rivers, once lifeblood to the farms and fields, run dark and tainted. Flickers of necromantic energy hang in the oppressive air, whispering of dark forces that still corrupt this ravaged land. In the southeastern corner stands Light's Hope Chapel, a small but radiant sanctuary spared from the creeping decay. Its walls shimmer with a holy brilliance, a stubborn flame of hope in a sea of darkness. Here, the Argent Dawn, a steadfast assembly of warriors, priests, and adventurers, has held back countless assaults by the undead. In one of history's most pivotal moments, they repelled an overwhelming tide of death at the Battle of Light's Hope, the sacred ground itself empowering their stand. Even now, the chapel's glow invites heroes from across Azeroth, guiding them toward the promise of reclamation. To the north lies the ruined heart of Stratholme, an enduring icon of woe. Shadows of its former people wander through scorched courtyards, doomed to repeat their final moments in a silent dance of regret. The scent of burnt timber and the echo of anguished cries still cling to the cracked pavement. Necromancers roam these ruins, summoning fresh terrors, while would-be champions fight to bring a glimmer of light back into the city's hollow core. West spreads the Plaguewood, a once thriving forest now warped by vile energies. Trunks of ancient trees stand warped and blackened, their limbs contorted as though straining toward a sky they no longer recognize. Toxic pools bubble with virulent slime, and skeletal creatures prowl through the undergrowth. A necropolis floats ominously above, its looming presence casting an unholy pall on the forest floor. Here, necromancers ply their craft, unbound, the reek of their magic poisoning the very air. Further northeast sprawls the noxious glade, a swath of land consumed by necromantic taint. Here, The very ground oozes with toxic sludge, forming stagnant pools of sickly green liquid that choke the life from the surrounding soil. Twisted fungi, engorged by plague and the lingering magic of the undead, sprout across the landscape. Towering mushrooms with bulging caps and spore-laden stalks that drip with putrid moisture. A haze of poisonous mist clings to the air, swaying above muck-filled crevices and winding through decimated thickets of skeletal trees. Amid this foul atmosphere, the forces of the undead roam freely. Ghouls prowl for flesh in the shadows, while roaming abominations, stitched monstrosities of rotting limbs bound in iron plates, crush any who dare intrude on scourge territory. Necromancers and death knights, bolstered by the corrupt energies of this place, use the noxious glade as a staging ground for their dark designs, hidden away from the prying eyes of the uncorrupted. In the southeast stands Tyr's Hand, fortified behind white stone walls that defy the orange-hued sky. While its battlements and vigilant guards project a sense of refuge, the enclave is ruled by the Scarlet Crusade. Consumed by zeal, the Crusaders' fervor blinds them to the innocence of most who wander their way. Their rigid fanaticism sows distrust among allies and hinders the broader war against the scourge. For all its apparent safety, Tyr's Hand remains trapped by fear and paranoia, an uneasy beacon amidst the gloom. Near the very center of the Plaguelands lies Corin's Crossing, its broken timbers and vacant streets marked by death and disuse. The echoes of laughter, bargaining, and neighborly chatter seem woven into the silence, as though the village itself mourns its fate. Some claim to hear distant whispers on the wind, reminders of the lives and dreams that burned out when the plague swept through. Though battered and scarred, the Eastern Plaguelands remain a stage where heroes persist in defying the darkness. Warriors of the steadfast order stand guard beside like-minded adventurers, purging plague cauldrons, toppling necromantic strongholds, and maintaining a tireless vigil against the relentless tide of the undead. Hope, however tenuous, flickers in the hearts of those who refuse to see this realm consigned to oblivion. But redemption here is no simple task. The land's wounds run deep, its very soil and air steeped in a creeping malevolence. Phantom-like wraiths glide among broken crypts, spectral eyes glowing with centuries of pain and vengeance. Plague-twisted hyenas stalk the outskirts, snapping at any who dare venture near, and shrieking bat creatures swoop overhead, drawn by the stench of rot that hangs thick in the gloaming skies. Countless other horrors roam these cursed plains, unholy abominations and twisted beasts beyond mortal reckoning, each a living testament to how formidable the darkness truly is in this realm. Yet, in every swirl of ash and every flicker of holy luminescence, one truth endures. The spirit of these people is not so easily extinguished. Though shadows loom over the horizon, hope still dares to shine, and defiance still stirs in those who stand against despair. In the Eastern Plaguelands, the battle continues, fueled by resolve and faith, in a day when this haunted land might finally be restored to the glory it once knew.